Hello, we're here on Honeycomb. We're doing more Testulous, and this might be the first Testulous. Actually, those first two matches were not good. Probably won't get uploaded. You can see that we're on the new, exciting brand, fresh testing branch. It's been about a month since an update. Nice to finally have it. You can tell by the gamer tags in the upper left and upper right parts of the screen on the teams. So we can actually know what players are bringing what ships. This is a nice little quality of life thing, so you know who you're getting into fights with on the field. It's pretty cool. Nice little flavor. Team 1 ANS, Team 2 OSP. Stack v stack. Honeycomb, as I've said, I believe. 3K, 4v4. I have not gone through the player list because I am too busy rammering. We're dropping down here with Corbeau. Oh, nice. What is this monitor build, dude? P30, plasma turret, 450 on the nose. What the fuckulous? Bluebot, Corbeau, Sumike, Xenophon versus Herman, Kerbal, Sam, Sirius, Mango, and the Shrimp. Drop down with Corbeau. So, Corbeau, we're going through your fleets. 450 plasma underneath, T30 on top, 450 plasma underneath, T30 on top. I think presumably all these are this. Got some with Bastions, Grazers. Yeah, Bastions and Grazers mixed around on different sides. So yeah, one bulk freighter, one single type of container. This is going to be interesting. For those who don't know, OSP no longer has access to electrical optical. So normally when we do patches, or we do testing on new patches, I go over the patch notes in the first couple of ones of these, but there's just... There's too much. There's actually too much. There's 2 full pages of fucking patch notes. So we're not going to do that. We're just going to have to do this on the fly. Good luck. Try to keep up. Keep your open notes test. You can have your patch notes in front of you. Good luck. Why is there no music? Kick up the jam. Xenophon has 1 plasma bulker and 2 250 bulkers. Looks like she's relying on the aim and point defense. Friday proving really strong this patch because you can now choose whether an AMM goes after hybrids or non-hybrids, which is mega based. Oh, missile gaming! I'm very excited for the way missiles are gonna go. I've said this earlier before. I don't know if to be excited or afraid because it's unclear yet whether missiles are gonna be completely cracked or just dog shit. And that's how you know it's a good patch, because it's gonna be one or the other at first glance, and it's probably in reality on the ground gonna be. Dubot bring in MMT. Herman's got a surrender seal. Presumably the enemy is securing. Yeah, Squeeze strike tires. Spinners, blankets. Old Sam's God, 40 battleship. The enemy is securing. 2 escort stern. Stumbles in first. Nice, still in the heart go live. Sirius Mango, double 450 experts. Full black. And Shrimp has some scout gaming, some really dirt cheap scouts, plus a few very expensive scouts, all floating around the map, all looking at things. Extremely grummy builds. And let's drop back into the Discord chat and listen to the people.
That's why he has only 5, not the usual 6. It'll be interesting to see quality versus quantity with because earlier in the test branch everybody did 6 MNs usually, but now with all the compartments, yeah, even. But now with all the fancy compartments, this 5 MN build thing as well.
Making monitors and board fitters are the idea of the DCX and the Citadel.
Mm-hmm.
I hope guys off. I would you guys off a lot more depth for the monitors. I'm tired of naked monitoring.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I think naked monitors, like, it's still an option, but it's no longer just the option.
Yeah, it's no longer
Yes.
all you can do.
Yeah.
Not like hard throwing if you have a monitor with 45 minutes. So Annis is pretty good check on the map, getting caps everywhere, got caps. Charlie, Echo, and Alpha, and they're probably going to grab Delta. They won't be able to hold it for very long with the heavy OSP push over Delta side. Bluebot's playing MMTs, but he's playing them kind of standoff for some reason. Not pushing, not being active on the map. Although tugs are a lot slower now, so it might be an issue. Not able to outmatch the sprinters.
Don't see people putting sun drives in them yet, which, I don't know, I think in certain builds, the sun drive can be worth it, even with drawbacks.
They're just so fragile. Tugs are already
Yeah.
especially with TT changes, and now they're going to be more vulnerable to RPF.
What DT changes?
C53.
Yeah, the C53
Oh, yeah.
is now
Right.
I have a feeling we're going to be doing this a lot for the next several
Yeah,
weeks.
it's-
Which
yes.
changes that? I don't fucking know,
Yes.
man. It's 2 goddamn pages.
I can't read.
I can't read.
Well, the battleship fucking deleting this MMT.
Usually Corbo plays, as you were saying earlier, 6 monitors, and sometimes 7 or 8. And plays them in 2 formations. Spread out. But he's playing all these as one immense swarm. This is actually kind of fucking dangerous because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 barrels of 450. As well as 5 T30s and 5 T81s.
And they're all RCC'd.
Yeah.
Shit. 3 of them.
So this actually synergizes really well. From what I were talking about this the other day. Just a nice walk. Lots of MTs. Just gonna even shit to all the Grummy missiles.
Yes.
Oh, but I think we're gonna get soft killed.
Fully unbombed and, yep.
That's gonna be able to get on Echo at that, although there are 2 that's over here. One of them's got torps on them. And I think some offensive ones.
Alright. S2's popping out. Oh, he might make it to cover in time.
Just gonna aim in the defender. Yeah, these S2s that
S2s don't have weave.
nope. And that's kind of very important for
That's the build. Yeah.
The enemy is
gotta
securing
have
zone
the
eclipse.
S1s are not gonna be able to cut it versus torpedoes.
No.
Bonk! See you later!
Goodbye, offensive power.
Glonk! Oh man! Oh, what an S3H comes into. And that thing's in trouble. So I'm not gonna be able to secure the cap on Echo, and most of the OSP teams came straight on the Delta side. They're able to deny the Delta cap.
It's not on the cap. If it were in the cap, it would actually be capping it, but it's not on the cap.
Yeah, Bluebot's been playing kind of skittish with these tugs. It's been yellow as hard as one might expect. Small ship player. generally think we'll both run well. Alright, we got some 450, double 450 experts firing at monitors. Let's see how effective this is. No, that's a log. Just oh yeah, that's pretty good. A lot of glancing blows in the front. Still 48. Five bastions and AMMs. I really like this little build.
The enemy is securing
It's
zone
got
eclipse.
well-rounded offense, well-rounded defense. And since he's actually been able to invest into the monitors, they've got the armor tank and a little bit of Cal gaming from all the damage
The
control
enemy is
capacity.
securing zone deck.
This is like these 5 monitors combined are, you know, a budget battleship
The enemy is
Pretty
securing
much.
zone
for
eclipse.
the OSP. That's super cool. They're gonna be easier to erode because one monitor is a hell of a lot easier to kill than one battleship.
One
turret.
battleship.
Ooh, man.
My lord.
There's also really dusty though, which is a good thing.
See if I'm
Yeah, those are portion containers.
forced back by the excavation.
Oh, are these the fast food containers?
Oh, what the fuck?
Oh my goodness
Excuse me, the
gracious.
what?
Pardon me?
Yeah,
Pardon
it's
me, the
gotta
fuck?
be. It's gotta be. Look at how big this volley is. What the
The enemy securing
What
zone
is
deck.
that?
All right.
The-
Okay. You know what?
No
I don't
active
know.
decoys.
No, no decoys. But the sheer volume of containers might be able to punch through.
Oh my
This is
God,
mostly
yeah.
flak.
Wow. That's impressive.
That refire. Refire.
Oh,
my
go for the
God.
other one.
They're ARAD, that's why.
Oh,
Okay, I
my
owe someone an
Turn your radar
apology.
off, man.
I owe someone an apology about fast boot. What the fuck?
Yeah, dude, it's strong.
Yeah.
Well, so the problem with fast boot has always been that you have to give up a seeker slot for it, and so your shit's just way too vulnerable to soft kill. But that's not a problem. So for containers, because if you put it on S3H, it's like it's too expensive. Your S3H is too expensive, and it's kind of wasteful. So there's this really niche S2H build that you can do with it. And Puppy does. But the containers, because they're so dirt cheap and they have 3 slots, you can get away with it. It's funny. I looked at the fast boot and I was like, would this work? No, obviously that's stupid and not gonna work. But apparently I don't know.
Oh.
Well, there goes one monitor.
I mean, I think the key to the fast boot is that the refire rate got really buffed on the CLN. That's part of the changes.
Yeah, the
'Cause
0.5
that's a big
seconds.
bottleneck for
sure.
any fast boot.
Yeah.
And only S2H. You can actually, or no, it's on the close range fast torpedo. The bottleneck is actually how fast the torpedoes can get out of the LSTs.
Yup.
Yeah.
I think with fast booted and one SBC, speed down from like a second. It's actually about time takes to get out of the tubes.
The physical tube.
Yeah. UNTs have a ton of AMMs. So I guess that's what they gained for giving up the S2 weave, but it's paying off super well. So what is firing on this S2 weave, by the way? Is it the
Surrender seal.
Ah, okay. Right.
Go getting crossfired by 450 and just falling apart.
I really need to catch one of these container volumes coming out because this is silly. I don't know if
I can keep an eye on it.
is making a circle and TOTing all this, or just fucking
It looks like one volley.
sending
Here.
2 volleys at the same time and it's just coming out immediately. It's got to be the second one.
Yeah. There's no. If you look at the programming channels,
feel like-
1, 2 arrays, just 2 arrays.
That's 30.
All right.
fucking-
Sumike's launching right now. Let's watch.
Yep.
Yeah, these are just.
Yeah, it's launching 40.
These are just
Yeah.
going.
Yep.
They're
And
just
there's your-
launching as fast as they can come out of the tubes.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, it was like
God.
it was about half a second.
Okay. Container liners,
So they
we're
just-
maybe back.
Yeah, I would say this is pretty good.
That's actually really good. Although it's gonna fail pretty hard against the Giga Hard Kill Kerbal Slam Battleship with double PDS ports. Although I think one of the PDS ports got gonked. Yeah, by containers at 8-1. It was a little too far forward. Oh. Tingling. I was looking at the containers before we started doing this. I was like, man, what the fuck? How do you actually make these work now? We'll just figure out what the things we did. I 100% did not figure it out. So, shout out to Sumike. Figuring out this nonsense. I know Mist also got like a rocket container delivery system style working, which is cool.
At least one. So there's at least
Now-
one.
Maybe there will be a couple different styles that'll work instead of just
The key now is, well, aside from the fast boot, the key now is having the ability to do triple seeker, and then use the support containers to fill all your decoys and then do mixed salvos of those, as
Yeah.
opposed to just one mono EO decoy that you use in a big salvo.
It's really cool.
The problem with that is,
And I'm not saying that's better than what we had before, in terms of like effectiveness, but I'm just saying that's what we have now.
yes. The main problem with that is you are extremely vulnerable to the wrong thing getting serviced. If your support, if one or two of your support containers get serviced, your salvo dies. Sorry.
What exactly is the difference? Oh, it's S. Okay, I see.
Yeah, dash S for support.
Yeah, you can put decoys in there and it scales with the warhead. No other module scales with the warhead size.
Yeah, that's something else that needs to happen and is hopefully maybe on the way, is getting other components to scale with warhead size.
Puppy and a bunch of us are trying to make that happen, but yeah.
I think
Awesome.
Puppy's been championing that for a while, and so, I mean, all the container people have, since the, like, warhead in a module slot was first mentioned, and then, like, containers lost their use.
Sumike is. There's not even 500 points on either team. Sumike is at 10%.
Yeah, that is part of the problem with this, is you don't have hardly any sustain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do think that the fast boot contain, like, he would have got a lot more effect on target if there were even a couple support containers in there doing BSSJ or decoys.
I don't think BSSJ would have made a difference, but decoys absolutely would have. And if rocket containers, if they had similar stats to custom rocket containers, then you could also mix rocket containers with this. Well, you can't put best boot.
Oh no.
Best boot's not
The
bulbous.
plasma liner, the only plasma OSP has no reactor stores, so.
Yeah, I saw that. I think he might have accidentally restored something and not known the locker was down, or just the reinforced and the locker went down at the same time.
Yeah,
It was bad luck.
because it's 6 restores, I think. No, 5 restores. Just not
Oh yeah. Oh, he
great
used
components.
two. He used 2 of the restores in the DCC or the DCX.
DCX, yeah, that they're gonna go first because they're first on the list. feel like those large
I think it
compartments
might have
should
just
be
been
last.
a misplay.
Yeah. I could
Misinput! Misinput! There was a misinput. Calm down.
And it's up 300 points and up on caps, and it's not looking like OSP is going to be able to change that situation anytime soon. They've been kind of cowed, sent hiding behind cover from the direct S2H fire that's been coming out in pretty high volumes.
Yeah, and Corbo just hasn't been able to get on target.
Yeah. Again, because of that S2H fire, combined with the 450s as well. It's a good combo.
Indeed.
Good combo. Playing cross escort games like this with these two fleets. Really high quality.
Uh-oh.
There goes another M monitor.
It's down to 3.
Down 2 fits inspired. Power was lost. Exactly lost supplies and
Alright.
problem. It's going to be a big problem for dealing with that battleship. In fact, I think OSP's
Just loses.
kind of out of it because they don't have enough volume of plasma to enable shooting the battleship. And they have a lot of 250 and a little bit of 100 millimeters. No container, no map presence. All the UMPs have gotten destroyed. Meanwhile, ANS has lost a PD Sprinter into one Grummy Vet and then one fighting Corvette. And everything else is ready to go. Stubble's spent a lot of the missiles in their fleet. But Nega's still got plenty of 450. Turbo's got plenty of 450.
Yeah.
Herman's running out of missiles too.
In order for those containers to do much against this expert, they have to be like followed up after right away before they can like prepare them out.
Well, and another problem is only a few containers managed to get through just because of it. I mean, some did manage to get through, which is more than we sometimes see with EO decoy when the decoys whip. I will say that's one nice thing about the fast boot is you don't have to deal with all the bullshit that comes with decoys sometimes just not staging right and screwing over. So it's really cute. Turbo starting to fire some plasma at the battleship. It's pretty cool to see the T-81 put out like a halfway decent volume of.
Yeah. The volume-wise, it's actually better than the C81 until you invest into C81.
Great. That's awesome. That's exactly what the ship's been needing, or that weapon has been needing.
Yep.
It is, I will say, even though it took a long time to dispatch it is very satisfying just reading through the patch notes and being like, okay, well, basically everybody wanted that, nice. Basically everybody wanted this, great. Basically everybody wanted this, fantastic.
There's a few things where it's like, I don't quite understand that.
Yeah, it's a few questions. That's Testulous, baby.
We all know the most important change is the new ranks.
Into the rat race.
I participate in that game. Fucking Lieutenant Commander Gaming.
Yeah, getting 30% when you're thrust on the liner with double drives is kind of whack.
The enemy is securing zone eclipse.
The old fighter make it immune.
Yeah.
It's got to since the tug's no longer agile.
Hilarious. It's like the book is more agile than the monitor and the tug now.
PLN deleted by HEKG.
I was already
I'd like to see that.
Okay, well, I managed to land containers on a battleship and sprinters using this fast boot shit and a support module decoy container. And there are 12 defenders and 6 stone walls.
Use
How
it.
many landed?
4 out of like 30.
Oh my.
Oh,
But that's a lot of PD, dude.
Yeah.
That's
true.
12 defenders and 6 stone walls.
Is
Try it
this-
against something standard like oak
Oh,
or something.
I just landed even more on it. Oh my god. I don't know, dude. This.
Is it with fast boot?
Okay. And yeah, it's with. And
Do
here's
these
the thing.
containers have fucking
Here's the
corkscrew
thing,
on
dude.
them?
The ones I'm using do.
No, the ones that I'm looking at right
Yes,
now.
they do. That's
Oh,
why I stole that idea from Sumi.
Yep.
They
all got
do
killed
have.
by defenders.
Dude, and
Screw works on containers now?
No,
Here's
it
the
doesn't.
thing.
Always has. It doesn't work when you need it to work, which is the last 500 meters.
oh, dude, I don't know.
Yeah, I
Also
just
the
watched 2
cost dis-
defenders kill a volley of containers, so I think it's probably not that good of an idea.
It's
Yeah, and the cost discount, like the 50% cost discount on the container chassis doesn't apply to terminal maneuvers for some reason.
Yeah.
So that's another nail in the coffin for those. But yeah,
Yeah.
if we can get that fixed, that'd be pretty cool. But yeah.
It's also just the sheer size of the container.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, like they already don't do a ton, but then they're also like not covered by the cost discount, and those things combined it's usually not a good idea.
yeah.
It does let you get a lot closer, though. It does take basically the containers dying at max defender range and brings it right up to like 500 meters. So if you've got any support modules that can bump that up, if you get a little more pen aid with corkscrew, I've got a few testing cleats that I've been toying with where I can get pretty reliable penetration, and it relies on
6
corkscrew.
surrenders, yeah.
I wish they wouldn't do that in the testing games. It's
Yeah.
funny, but like, bro, this is a stack v stack match. You need to take that empty ship and park it on a point, please. It's a voxel. It's
Bro, I'm
fast.
looking at the map and the score, and I'm thinking, yeah, they probably
Why is
don't
this
need one of
battleship-
PCL to win this
Why
game.
is this battleship letting these bulkers take Charlie? They're 250, no plasma.
It'd be really nice to take that voxel and eat it on the Delta,
Yeah, that would be cool.
or loop it on the map and hop on a Bravo.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's looking like they don't need to.
Perhaps not. Probably not. It's still.
This easily beats Oak's PD network.
Now, what are your seekers on your fast boot containers?
I'm using ARAD Act and Act Wake.
Okay. So, pay for active decoys or MCOM, and you can soft kill it. And the Wake,
Enemy is securing zone data.
is it Wake validated or Wake secondary?
Like secondary.
I, for one, look forward to Balcon flipping out that you can't hard kill missiles anymore, and soft kill actually has a use. Or specifically,
This-
you can't hard kill literally everything anymore.
This fast boot container shit, like, actually is kind of legit. I am a dog shit container player, and I'm landing hits on, like,
Well, that's good, because part of the problem that containers have had,
is it good though?
yes,
Is it good?
is that it's locked behind 5 people no-lifing containers and being able to do TOTs and effectively have 2 container liners on the field at once. Is the only way it works. So like, yeah, normal people being able to just get lands is a good thing.
The enemy secured zone dagger.
Yeah, I think if OSP still had EO, and then got a bunch of extra shit to enable container penetration, and like fast boot became a thing, and they had EO, that would be one thing. But the fact that ANS can omni soft kill containers, I just think it'll shift the meta, but it's not going to be. It's not overpowered. There's direct counters for it that are pretty cheap.
I mean, consider that game. I brought an Axford, no point defense, didn't even get touched by missiles. I didn't have any missiles fired at me, but that's.
To be fair, one of our players was using a direct fire CLN. So I'm just gonna fucking say that probably has more to do with it than anything else.
No. It's the new missile meta, trust me. Hunter, give me your throat.
What?
I need a new one. I need mine replaced.
Oh, okay, that's not at all how I interpreted that, but yeah, okay.
I'm so sad you didn't get attacked. Fuck off. Cringe alpha my missiles to bring anti-tag blow when you don't.
Tugs are bad. Bottom text. I don't know, they were fucking annoying.
Poorly
Off the
built
tag
tugs
blow.
are certainly bad. Those S2s didn't have terminals, which is kind of a problem.
Wait, they did. Somehow.
Way too
I had
passive with them.
AMMs on my sprinters anyway. I would have gotten cringed.
I did see that.
And I just fucking missiled them to shit.
Yeah, that was
Love the way that corkscrew containers move. Like they just stay perfectly level and like move in a spiral pattern.
Yeah.
It's funny.
They do the dance. They do the little dance.
You know what's very funny? Like, fucking Mango had 0 defenders before we started this. And we were like, you're gonna die.
Yeah, it worked previously. We added defenders, a lot of them. And not a lot of them, but a few of them. It worked.
I think 250 LMs are fucking dead, to be honest. Like, they just kind of suck now.
They're good with plasma.
Well, the problem is they fall
plasma.
over.
Yeah, plasma got surrendered.
The problem is that if you get hit by fucking missiles, the guns don't absorb the fucking rays anymore. That's why it's not as good. And it might be too strong of a nerf for the LN.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think the price was
I should have
better.
brought like 450s and mass drivers, and I think mass drivers would have really helped there.
Because you go from and
what?
something to consider is like you go from complete cow gaming to very fragile. It's like like you said, it's too dramatic. Probably being made a little more fragile to missiles, if possible, isn't a bad thing. But
The LN needs a better fucking
Thing is-
SD casemate. Like, that's
Yeah, that would
only
be
way
the
we can cringe
solution,
this.
basically.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, the problem is that the
give
C-53 is tied to the tug, and the tug.
Yeah, exactly.
If-
the tug needs
yeah,
to
if the
tag missile.
C-53
yeah.
Yeah, like the 250 LN is basically collateral damage. The point was not to nerf the 250 LN. The point is to nerf tugboats, because if you have a 40 DT thing in the nose, then when HEI hits it, the rays are going to pass through the spinal and get halved in damage. And then they're not going to break the spinal, and they're probably not going to crack the DT on whatever's behind as well. So the DT has to be 24 or lower on tug spinal weapons if we want them to die to missiles. And we kind of want them to die to missiles, so therefore C-53 has to kind of get nerfed, which has unfortunate effects on the 250 LN.
If I may make a suggestion, just give
Yeah.
the tug a hull modifier that makes them take more damage from HEI type damage rays.
Yes.
Like,
Could be done. That's a
Missiles do
pretty
double damage
large.
to tugs. Do it.
That's a pretty large
Do it with
exception
no
to the
balls.
usual damage rules, but it would work.
Yeah, can you just give
would also-
tugs a positive damage reduction?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and I also just like in this case, the 250, the LMs had very little PD, very little PD.
I had a lot of AMMs.
You
I
had
just didn't do jack
like
shit.
30 AMMs total.
No, I had
You had like
90-some.
16 on one and 19 on another or something.
No, I had
45.
45, and 30.
Oh, okay.
45.
I had 120.
The problem
Are
is the
they?
number that they miss, because that's like how the missiles work for this.
Oh,
They
sorry. I was looking at the wrong
stage
number.
HAI, they miss, and then the XP kills you.
Yeah.
You fix that with command, but it's very expensive.
Mhm.
That's
A little
why I
expensive.
run fucking 196 AMMs with command on that double LN fleet because they're expensive LNs now. But you do still feel that 250 DT, and like this is what I was saying as soon as that nerf happened. Like the thing is with LNs, if we're trying to encourage people to be spending more on them, then it's kind of like a little bit counterproductive for that. If instead of having to spend your restores on modules, which you normally, or compartments, which you normally would have to spend them on when you get hit by missiles, you're instead spending 5 restores on all 5 of your 250 guns that die, and like most LNs don't really carry more than 7 restores, so it's just like it's not really doing what is intended for 250 LNs, but it is doing what's intended for like in terms of the DCX and the CMAG and stuff like that for 450 LN.
Just give
I had DCS and Citadel. I think
Problem with that is that
Tugs is D50.
No, make another 250 gun that only fits in the LN slots and that gets
Yeah,
more
we've
DT.
we've discussed this.
We've discussed it.
all art asset time is being reserved for conquest development, except for that raised platform that the Tug got, which was already a diversion of resources from conquest. So I don't know if making another weapon is going to fly. And I mean, you could just reuse the model, but that would look unprofessional, and I don't know if the devs want to do that.
Just reuse the Mark
Wait.
82 model.
What
and
if you just
say it's
reuse the
250?
model, you just downscale it by 20%?
No, except the problem is if it's the same diameter, right? You can't just downscale it.
No, so the thing is
Stretch it
that
out
for the
or
250 for the LN, Wolf, you said that if you up the size to 3x3, then it won't fit in the slot for the Tug, but it's still like fits in the PD slots for the LN as well.
Yeah, currently it's a 2x2x4. If you made it a 3x3x4, then that would work. Exclude it from Tug, but nothing else. The problem is just like, either we reuse the model, and I don't know if devs go for that, or we ask for more art assets, and devs probably are definitely not going to go for that. So
I think that excluding the 250 from the Tug would be an option, but we would probably have to revert the speed nerf so that it can rely on speed and missiles to be a valid offensive option for punching up.
Yeah, I would be okay with that, honestly.
Dude, you're gonna get a lot of pushback from that if you've been reading that fucking Tug discussion.
Oh God, yes I have.
It's just like there's people that do not want fast Tugs with torpedoes. It's just not something that is acceptable, and personally I think it is fine if they can't actually kill you with the 250s after anyways, but
I think we could probably successfully argue that it's fine without 250s because they can't kill you, but...
I supported the speed change mostly just because I like there being a significant differentiation between the Tug and the shuttle. But if it's bad for gameplay, and if we're seeing kind of two things where like the C-53 on the Tug is kind of wonky and we're having to like design around that, and then the Tug speed nerf is kind of nerfing its other roles. Then I'm, I prefer gameplay balance to thematic balance.
And something else to consider about the reduced tug speed is now it's going to struggle to keep up with LMs. So if you wanted to have it as, like, say, an escort with an EWR, or an LRT for anti-jam because the aperture size of that got increased, or a PD escort, or whatever else, and you wanted to keep it close to your bulk freighter, which now has a long haul drive and a yard drive in it, you can't. You just can't. It's too slow.
You can. It's 25 meters per second base for long haul LN and 26 base for tug, so you can keep up just fine.
They actually are just fast enough.
I thought if you're flanking your bulk freighter and you're flanking your tug, the tug is significantly slower than the bulk freighter.
No, it's not. No, they're about the same speed.
Really?
Because long haul gets you 20% speed, which brings you up to 24 meters per second, right?
Yeah, it's a difference of 1 meter per second on flank speed for base drive for the tug.
See,
but
it's too much.
So the thing is that it's specifically got to do with the interaction between the gun CL and the torpedo tug. That's what it is. And the torpedo tug on main, just like, I understand why people complain about it. It's very, very strong. It's not like it doesn't have any counters, but it is very strong. And there are a lot of people that complained about it, and it's like it needed to be nerfed in certain ways, and it's got that nerf, so.
You remember the, like, 2 or 3 games that I was playing, those S2H HEKP reigns? We were fighting tug swarms. I just fucking killed all the tugs.
Yeah, there's counterplay, but
there's counterplay.
So here's the argument against that, is that people don't want to be forced to use only hybrids against tugs as counterplay. Which I think is a bullshit argument to begin with, but that's the one we're given.
I think it's fair. I think it's fair.
I mean, but beams work against tugs.
Yeah,
and it's not like guns. It's not like guns don't work against them either. It's just that you can't just like.
You have to have good positioning.
Yeah, you have to have good positioning, and you need to be aware of where the tugs are, which it still applies now. It's not like you can just fucking ignore a tug swarm and be like, oh, it's 6 kilometers from me now. I guess I'll start reversing because I can outrun them. It's like
right. So that's exactly the point. Is it hasn't ruined the tug blob. What it has done is made it a little bit less a little bit less difficult to counterplay, which I think is a good thing. Because, like, well, there is counterplay. It is difficult to counterplay.
It was already difficult to counterplay.
Well, exactly, and now it's easier in a way that I think is good.
I don't know. I mean, like, I agree, but it's just a weird dynamic.
Yeah, we got a weird case where it's like, what counters a tug, and on the other side we also have what counters a light cruiser. And should a tug counter a light cruiser, or should a light cruiser counter a tug? And if so, then which one has not enough counters? And it's a hard problem.
So if the current situation, or the situation I should say before this specific patch on the test branch, is that voxels and tugs fight each other and beat each other depending primarily on position. If the tugs catch the voxels out, they win. If the voxels can hold range and RPF the fuck out of the tugs, they win.
So we did a bunch of testing. We did a bunch of testing where tugs where we set up one light cruiser fleet, one torp tug fleet, and the tugs charged across open ground towards light cruisers, which could not keep range, and the light cruisers lost like 6 matches out of 7.
I don't like.
And the only one they won was on Abyssal, and yes, there's disputes about whether this was a good test process or not. But the thing is, like, the light cruisers were really unable to keep range against 30 meters per second base speed tugs, which is where the speed nerf basically came from.
Sure, and honestly, tugs were strong, so that made sense in any case. However, it's worth reminding ourselves that that's a specific variety. That is the torp tug, which also depletes itself heavily after it kills. So they've got only so many kills in the tank looking like that. So, like, when the tugs beat that, they are more depleted than they appear.
I think people just don't like getting deleted in one shot.
Well, and that's why there's so much missile hate in Valcon.
Yeah,
I mean, I get the argument for the speed nerf because it's fine to get deleted in one shot if you miss position or get ambushed, right? That's why no one has an issue with beams. But when it's on a really fast platform, then that can get annoying.
Yeah,
Well,
but
I mean,
beams are
I've had
unlimited,
people-
and torpedoes are very limited.
I've had people complain about beams. Like, this has happened.
Okay,
several
well.
times, but it's not a lot. And definitely most of the time it's probably like, yeah, you fucked up. You let something get within beam range and then you died.
Yeah, so the dynamic between like torp tugs and CLs in this regard as well is that there's this perception that they have to like gun. It's also worth keeping in mind that this is specifically gun CLs that we're talking about here. Full-blown gun CLs to counter tugs. And from where I stand with this is I feel like they already did. It's just that when you ball a bunch of fucking tugs up into one spot, like, hey, like you might kill one or two of them within 2 minutes, but in that time they close the distance to you and murder you, assuming it's just a 1v1. But that's not really how Nebulous works. Like, if tug swarms push into light cruisers and it's only them, yeah, they're gonna like just chase you around the map the whole time and probably kill you. At least that's what it's like on main. But if they try to push into CLs that are kiting them, they're also pushing into other stuff. And every time we did a test in a 4v4 to demonstrate this, like the most obvious one being the first one where everyone came back from that being like, oh yeah, they died, it takes too long to kill them. It's like, well, you still won. Like ANS lost.
That game though.
Yeah, ANS, no, well, yeah, I mean, we won because we got all the points. ANS killed 6k worth of tugs and LN and lost 3k of CL in return. They could have achieved that and still won the game by capping the points by spreading their ships out. They just chose to deathball instead to fight the tug blob. And like that's a gameplay decision. That's not a balance problem from where I stand looking at it. So I don't know. Like it's not like I don't understand the argument for why it happened, but was it entirely necessary? I think that's really up to debate.
Well,
I think it's just... Go ahead.
You can also, to your gun voxel fleet, something you should probably already be doing, depending on the build, is take those 3 gun voxels, throw one of them away, and replace your VLS-1 on your back with a VLS-2 or a VLS-3 hybrids. Direct fire that shit. Boom. There you go.
Well, that's difficult. Omni soft kill is real, right?
Well, I mean,
Not on a tug
EOS
swarm.
You
2H.
can mount 2 grazers per, so like, lol. Good luck.
Torpedo tug swarms are very tight on their points, and they just really can't afford lots of soft.
Yeah, like if you bring grazers on your torp tug swarm, you're essentially sacrificing a tug as well as certain capabilities between all the tugs. Like I think with grazers, you can only really achieve 6 tugs.
No, one more game.
Because
One more match, and then I'll be done.
Your mic's on.
Oh, sorry.
And then, like, because you can't use illuminators if you're using grazers, so you have to use more expensive torpedoes, which then like reduces other aspects about what the tug blob is even capable of, and it becomes easier to kill in that regard as well. Like the truly monstrous tug swarms are the ones where there's 9 tugs and they're using SAR. Like that is really fucking hard to deal with even a CL group with missiles, just because they can absorb all the hits, which was the point of the DT nerf. So I don't know. I think that really that dynamic doesn't change that much. I think even now you could run torpedo tugs and still kill CLs in pretty much the exact same way. It's just there's a little bit more like leniency on the ability of the CLs to respond to it if they don't have early warning on the position of the tug.
What exactly prompted this discussion to this degree? Because
250 LN being bad.
So basically people still felt that they couldn't make it.
I think 250 LNs are okay. But there's some discussion being had by other people now that are saying that it's not good enough really anymore. So
yeah,
I mean, I think it would need also a cost reduction as opposed to a cost return to what it was in order to be like good enough, but now it's a niche pick. And this seems very, very tenuously related to this tug thing, so I don't know how you got from one to the other.
Wait,
they're not
wait.
Tug balance is the reason why the 250.
We're getting into the weeds there. We've been into the weeds there. This is a 50-minute recording of a 20-minute match. So, that was Testulous. We're hanging out. We're jamming. We're talking. We're gaming. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. Good night. If you want to participate in this sort of thing, I got a Discord link down in the description. Come on down. Game with the boys. We have a lot of fun. Testulous is what we're throwing our energy behind right now, but it's not all we do. We love Lamp and Nebulous. Hope to see you around. If I don't see you in the Discord, I'll see you in the battle space. Good night.